Community Channel's been involved with Northern Film and Media and Capture for 4 years now. It's been an incredibly strong and productive partnership, and I think probably this year the strengths of that partnership have really started to show, because what we've seen is a confidence and a maturity in the filmmakers, in the way they've approached the subjects, in the way that they've dealt with the themes. These are probably the best set of films that we've had in the 4 years. The quality really has been raised.
My name is Michael Reed. I'm 19.
The film that we're screening at Capture tonight is called Out of the Box. It's about a young man who uses AAC, which is augmentative and alternative communication techniques. But really what the heart of the film is about is explaining how disabled people are rounded individuals and rounded characters, and they're not just the sum of their issues.
I might use this box to talk to you, but please don't put me in one because of it.
This is the first doc I've made to raise awareness for connected care in the community, and I thought, well, you know, it might be really cool to do a documentary about someone who sells the big issue and one of the writers. So that was the seed for doing the documentary. It was about sort of bringing awareness about the homelessness issue.
I've got to go down to the Housing Advice Centre and shelter today to see if anywhere's got any places for us to stay tonight, otherwise I'm going to be on the streets. It was a perfect synergy, but it changed, the documentary changed from that initial conversation. I woke up and I was hoping that when I woke up I wouldn't be there and it was all a bad dream, but it wasn't.
Over the Board is about regeneration, really. We see the effects that the regeneration of Middlesbrough is having on this small community, actually the oldest community left standing in Middlesbrough. It was funny, what first interested me about St Hilda's, about the area itself, is just how it looked. I mean, it looks like the Wild West, surrounded by the set of Blade Runner. It's just an amazing looking place.
It's like a piece of it, although I remember she actually wants a piece of St Hilda's still. That's what it is. Yeah. You want a piece of it.
You can say it better than me, Jen, can you? Eh?
Overall, the thing to say about this year's filmmakers is their willingness to listen to and to work with the mentors. Even if, as we know, sometimes they weren't happy with the feedback they got, they still worked with them and, you know, really brought out the kind of passion for the projects.
Okay, the documentary is called Buick Court, a Musical, and yeah, it's basically about the residents of Buick Court. There's lots of people there from different countries and lots of varying ages and different lifestyles. So I kind of wanted to capture a snapshot of that, but obviously give it something that made it different to a normal documentary. So came up with the idea of getting them to actually sing the interviews.
I'm on the front line down here, and I get a lot of flack. I used to work in the shipyard. I hated every minute, it was like a prison camp.
Professionally, the way it's evolved for me has made me feel incredibly gratified to be part of it, because you know, there is nothing better than developing new talent. I mean, it's a fantastic privilege to be able to do that, and it's exactly what Community Channel should be working to do.
The great thing about documentary filmmaking is it captures real people telling their stories. It's really specific, and you capture a moment in time in someone's life when something cataclysmic or cathartic is happening that other people would never get to see.
There was a lot of training involved before we embarked on a project, embark on the research process. I especially enjoyed the pitching activity at the start, which I never had experience of before. And that's kind of crucial in terms of accruing all your experience as a documentary filmmaker.
The filmmakers themselves have got involved in the films. You've kind of got a real sense of the voice of the filmmaker coming through, literally, with some of them actually appearing on screen. And it has worked very well, and it's made them very, very distinctive.
My capture film's called No Ifs, Ands or Buts, and I am the titular host. I star in the film, and it's my attempt to stop smoking using quite a unique method of picking up one cigarette end for every one I've ever smoked in my lifetime. I think when people watch the film, there'll be a mixture of things. I mean, I hope they have a bit of a laugh. I'd like to think it's quite entertaining. And then on a more sort of serious level, I thought, well, it might be something people watch and, you know, start to think about their own lives, perhaps things they've done and how they could kind of make reparations for that. At the moment, with little black hands and a bin bag full of fag ends, I think the punishment's far worse than the crime. But never mind. You've made your bed, you've got to lie in it and all that.
Having the film screened tonight at the Baltic is It's very scary, but it's also a fantastic way of highlighting Northeast filmmaking and my place within that, which I hope will develop over the coming months and years. And obviously having it shown on the community channel is fantastic, and reaching a national audience is something that every new filmmaker wants to be able to achieve, and through this scheme it's been facilitated for me.
Yeah, I think it's important also to show the lives of people up here, and that also people's lives here are probably different to the kind of stereotypes that people in the rest of the country have about the North.
It was good.
And also it shows the great locations that we have up here as well, so yeah, it's a good advertisement for the region.
What's important to me about the Capture scheme is that without it, I would never ever have gotten the opportunity to make this documentary, you know. There'd be no one out there that would give me independent funding to make, which at the time was quite a personal film, but then ended up being this kind of global issue, you know, that could easily, I think, stand on a global platform.
The biggest help that Northern Film Media gave to me throughout the scheme and the community channel was the opportunity for mentorship, and that's continued beyond the scheme, which is a real testament to the scheme. Just learning from people who've been in the industry for a number of years how to create a decent film and how to tell a story effectively visually was invaluable to me.
My advice to future filmmakers who are thinking about enrolling in the Capture scheme, it's incredibly unique. NFM treat you like professionals when you're doing it, and you will get more out of it than you could possibly imagine, and utilise what's given to you.
The advice that I would give to filmmakers coming on to Capture next year would be to definitely listen to all the advice given to you by your mentors and by NFM, but also to listen to your own heart and your own mind about what story you want to tell. And the best films that are made out of Capture are a marriage of the two.
But overall, my abiding memories are of some incredibly powerful films that have come out of it at the end, you know, and some personal favourites, and meeting some young talent where you think, actually, these people have really got what it takes to kind of move on to, you know, to move from the Northeast onto a national stage and kind of keep that regional voice.